Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of And One. I got with me the silent assassin. We've given her that nickname and it's sticking. One of the rising stars in the 2024 class. Welcome, welcome, Savannah. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. If you wanted to, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
I'm Savannah. I'm in 11th grade and I go to Eastview High School.
There we go. So we've had you on for the team preview. We've seen your summer, with North Tartan and stuff, but we'll go all the way back to the beginning. When did you first start playing basketball?
I've basically been in the gym since I was born. My dad coaches, all of my siblings played, but I think I first started playing on a team when I was around 4 and in-house. So
Did you take to it right away with all the family, or were you kind of like a rebel, like I don't want to be with the whole family?
I took to it right away. My goal since I was little was just to be the best in the family. So
Oh, there you go. So what have you taken away from having, dad as a coach? What have you kind of learned kind of from him the most in the game of basketball?
um I think one of the biggest things he's taught me is just being able to have fun with it and build relationships through it. He's a very social guy and most everyone knows him. So he just taught me how to have fun, be competitive with it, just that type of thing.
And so we'll come up last year, had a decent year. I'd say you kind of maybe came in your own a little bit more last year for the team, took on a leadership role. How would you describe how last year's high school season went?
Last year's high school season was definitely different than I expected it to be. More than half of our varsity players were either injured or out. So I did really step up and take a big leadership role. And I think that's really going to help me this year, just being an upperclassman now. But last year, I just think I really stepped up and it's helped me step out of my shell more and just understand I do have a louder voice. I can lead easier than others. So
We're leaving silent assassin in the bath. We're not going to be silent anymore. I like it.
more.
And so, what you said you kind of had to, thrust into that leadership role. What is your leadership style? Is it pulling a player aside, kind of, on the court, kind of, letting them know what you need, or lead by example? Kind of what's your leadership style?
I think it's a mix of all of them. I do try to lead by example the best I can. But I communicate a lot on the court, just saying what we need, what we need to do. But I'm also not afraid to pull a player aside and talk to them. So
Like it. So moving into AAU, you play for North Tartan. You play on I would say, a phenomenally stacked team. You were one of those along with that. How does your role change from the high school to the AAU?
from high school to AAU, it was definitely different. It was probably I'm usually one of the main players on a team, I'd say, not to take away from any of my teammates from past teams. Everyone plays a big role, but definitely stepping back and understanding my role on the team more and just trying to shine in my spot to help us win and do whatever's needed. It just made me kind of realize more that everyone is needed on the team and it's not just one player or two players. It's everyone does play a specific role. So
Do you feel like at North Tartan for your team, do you guys play faster, or do you guys play a similar style game?
I do think we play faster. I just think everyone's just a little quicker and just a little bit higher IQ, just things like that. So
I got to get your opinion. You have you, Tori McKinney, Aaliyah Crump, long, lanky. I mean, when you guys are all going like this, there's not much room on the court. What's it like playing with players that are kind of similar build, similar, but kind of games to you? What's that like?
it's a lot of fun because we all bring different aspects that each other don't have, but it's kind of like playing with another me in a way. So it's we just work really well together.
What's some of the best places AAU basketball has taken you to visit or to go to for gym wise or anything?
Gym wise, definitely Nike Nationals in Chicago was probably the best one. Boo Williams in Virginia was really fun. Florida was a lot of fun just because it's Florida. So that was those three.
when we come from Minnesota, sun and beach is not something we see very often. So I agree,
Right.
Florida would be fun. So you talked about Nike Nationals. I was there for the WNBA All-Star game. What was it like playing with all those teams? And what do you think when you see all those coaches and stuff? What's that first like when you first walk in there? What's that feeling like?
I was just kind of in awe. I mean, I've been to Run for the Roses with Minnesota Stars, and that was like big, but Nike Nationals was just huge. So I was just at first I was just in awe, but then we talked as a team and we just were there to try to go win, and we were there to put in work. So
And so, you know what, you play on the EYBL circuit playing in there. How do you feel playing on the EYBL circuit has helped you as a player grow, you as a person kind of grow type situation?
I think as a player, it's really helped me build like my motor and then seeing the court better. A lot of the times we played on bigger courts, college level courts. So it was like moving was a lot easier, and seeing the court and making those passes was, that's really helped me. And then I think that answered the question.
So playing with North Tartan, you play with some superstars. I know you played on some all-star games and stuff like that. Who's some of the best players you've got a chance to ever play with?
The best players I've gotten to play with have been Tessa Johnson. She's always been a role model of mine. Nia Holloway, that wasn't in, I mean, she came to a few of our practices and we played. And then it's not AAU, but in high school I got to play against Cassidy Carson, and she's a great player too.
Nice. I was gonna say I was there when you went to Nia Holloway. We had the story about how you scored the
Yeah.
game back. What did that feel like to score the game-winning bucket on Minnesota Go for future Nia Holloway?
Honestly, I didn't really know her at the time, but that was a lot of fun. And I think literally the next weekend, somehow we saw each other and it was just a lot of fun, and just we talked about it. So
And so you play North Tartan also with Tessa Johnson, play the North Tartan. What's one aspect of your game that you would like to add to her, of her game that you would like to add to your game?
um I mean, she has a lot of good aspects to her game I'd like to add. I think just I think you can really put her anywhere and she'd be, I mean, she's a shooter, she can slash well, she rebounds well, and just how fast and like smooth she moves, I think I'd like to get to that level of where she's at.
So we're about a month, I would say, away before we really ramp up in Minnesota high school basketball. What's your kind of thoughts on the upcoming season? I'm sure having a lot of players back healthy-wise helps. What are you thinking about for the coming year?
I'm just really excited for this upcoming year. I mean, all of our players are back and returning, and during open gyms and stuff, we look really smooth and healthy, and like we work really well together. So I'm just very excited to have everyone back.
Not sure if we have a full schedule yet. What are some games that we have circled that we're excited for? Must-sees, must-watches for fans?
Um, I think, well, some of mine that are circled are Rosemont and Lakeville North. I think that's just some big rivalries in our district. And then our Hopkins game is also circled. I think that'll be good.
So when playing Hopkins, what is when you go into that, you're playing, Taylor Woods and Nunu Aguera. What's your mentality to make sure that kind of you guys stick to your game, or that you stick to your game and don't try and kind of get into their style that you want to play your game?
I mean, they are a very skilled team and they have a really good game. And I think it's a really fast paced game. And I think the biggest thing is just trying to stay patient, move the ball a lot, trying to slow the game down. I think is going to be the biggest thing.
So from last year, throughout AAU this year, what's the skill set maybe that you've added to your game coming into this high school season that maybe wasn't there, or you've refined since last year's high school season?
I think taking bigger, like more pressured shots, I think I'm better at that now, just due to like a lot of the games it was like they're always like neck and neck or something. So all the shots you were taking, it was like very like, okay, we got to make this, get the momentum, let's go. So I feel like I'm there. That's really helped my game.
So do you watch any WNBA, NBA college players at all?
A little bit. NBA and college more.
Who are some of the players that you would say you model your game after, or that you even really enjoy watching?
I think NBA, even though men and women are a little different, I think I had kind of modeled my game after Kevin Durant. We're both long and lengthy and kind of can do everything. And I do just enjoy watching him because he can play at different angles. And then I do enjoy watching Giannis and Jason Tatum as well.
I was gonna say you have those mixed that can kind of handle, can shoot, the long and lanky. You got them all covered there. Maybe like a Nia Holloway could play a little
Yeah.
bit like that. You got that athleticism, that long and lankiness. I guess in going with that, because you play, you're pretty strong on both sides of the game. How would you say you describe yourself as a defender? Because you're a solid rebounder, you're a solid blocker and stuff. You keep people in front. How do you describe yourself as a defender?
I'd say I'm long and lengthy defender that is usually able to tip the ball and in sight, like that didn't come out fully right, but like
Nope.
usually one of my limbs, my arms or something is in the way of a pass or like your vision. So I think that's kind of describing me.
Very disruptive in the passing lanes. You're very
Yes.
disruptive because you kind of close down those lanes very quickly.
Yes.
You go off the court when you're not playing basketball, dad's not coaching, not watching dad's games. What are we doing to kind of just get our mind off of basketball a little bit? What are some of your favorite things you do off the court?
I love hanging with my friends, which most of them are my teammates, but I do really enjoy cooking. We owned restaurants in my family. My uncle's a chef, so it's just kind of been passed down to me. That's kind of something I really enjoy doing.
What is your favorite dish to make? Because I'm someone that could find a way to burn cereal.
Probably like tacos or something, I would say.
Perfect go-to. I'm on board with the taco. So what do you have any pregame superstitions or rituals that you got to do, anything before a game?
Yes. So basically before any like game or season, I'll choose a song out of like my playlist, and if I play really good after playing that song, I have to listen to it until like I have a bad game, and then I'll choose another song, and then that's how it kind of goes.
So that leads me to the next question. What is on our go-to playlist before the game to get us hyped? Are we doing slower songs? We doing fast-paced? We bumping? What are we bumping before we go to a game?
Definitely bumping Drake, Little Baby, Big Sean, his old stuff. I'd say those are like my top three. Future before games.
So what was your go-to song before AAU? Because you had a pretty good AAU season. I don't know if you had a bad game. What was the go-to song then?
Oh, there's a few. I'm trying to think. During nationals, it was two songs actually. It was Super Hot and Drink in My Cup. Two completely kind of different songs, but I listened to them.
It worked. You had a great summer. With that great summer and going into a great high school season, I'm sure that comes with some improved kind of ramped up recruiting attention. How do you handle recruiting? Is it stressful, exciting, mixture of both? You kind of set parameters. How do you tackle like the recruiting, I guess, beast that it can be?
It's definitely a mixture of both. It can be stressful if you let it, but it is a super exciting process. Just creating bonds with coaches and stuff is just really fun. Just, making this as fun as I can and enjoying the process is just a cool thing to do.
What are some of your check boxes, saying, well, when I pick a school, it needs to check these, off before I'm going to, considering them or choosing them?
I definitely, relationships matter. So how much the coach reaches out and tries to build a connection with me is definitely super important in one of the main boxes. And probably the easiest path to like my job, my career, if they're going to be able to set me up to go to grad school, like that type of thing. It's definitely more school wise I'm more focused on. So
I like it. They always say basketball eventually ends. So How would you say now you have two coaches, North Tartan and Eastview. How describe each one of them as a coach and kind of how they've each something you've learned from each one of them.
Coach Casper, my high school coach, she's a great coach. She really focuses on us. I mean, as you see on the bench, she doesn't really say much, and she's trying to really have us focus on like leading each other and being that. I think she's really helped me focus with like the mental game and understanding that just basketball and me as a person are two separate things, just that type of thing. I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned from her. And then Marcus, MG, my AAU coach, he's just helped me understand. I mean, he did a lot for me in this past season, but I feel like one of the biggest things is he's definitely also helped me with my mental game, but just like moving and understand my versatility on the floor more than any other coach probably.
So we will ask, making the state's usually a goal. We'll end with this so I don't take up all your night. What would making it to state this upcoming year mean to you?
It would mean a lot. The past 3 years with Eastview haven't been great years, and before that they've been to state I think about 10 years in a row. So to bring that legacy back and keep it running would mean so much to me.
Well, they have a strong piece. I will be in the stand with my Skittles and hat. I will be there. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time tonight. You are a rising star, people. Get out there and watch Eastview this summer, and then next summer or next summer with North Tartan. We'll see you. I want to say thank you for taking your time. No more silent assassin. You're not silent anymore. You have that voice. We're gonna hear you out on the court. So
yes, you will.
thank you. Here's good luck to the coming year, good health this upcoming year, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the team.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.